Hello again everyone, Saka here and welcome to Crusader Kings 3, a tutorial for absolute beginners. This video is made for people who are just getting into the grand strategy genre, maybe perhaps for the very first time or you need a refresher on what's going on. Perhaps you picked it up on the Microsoft Game Pass and you have no clue, but you heard all about the hype and you have no idea how to get started. This video is for you. So I've skipped the tutorial from the main menu, I've started a new game, and this is the first screen that you're presented with. And these characters here are a few of the characters that the developer thinks would be interesting to play. Up at the top you can see the start dates here, 3 in 867 and 3 in 1066. This game lasts until the mid-1400s, so it depends on how long you want to play your Dynasty for. We'll start at 867, and already you can see the different people here have changed that are important. But what we're going to do is play as any ruler in 867 and let that boot up. We've got some tooltips down here that you can peruse through. And we are greeted automatically with the big map. And yes, indeed, you can play as any one of these counties that you see here. Each one with a different ruler, each one with a different title. So if you wanted to play, say, the king of all of West Francia, King Charles the Bald, and rule over all of this land, you can. If you want to start off really small and just rule this one county of Nadigne as Nana Opoku of Nadigne, you can do that. So one thing that we're going to do is sort of start in Newbie Island over here in Ireland. So why do we want to do that? Well, each one of these are independent counties. Essentially, it would be easy to grow when you have a bunch of small independent nations next to you, rather than try to start as a small count here in West Francia and take over the king, for example. So what we're going to do is start in Desmond as Chieftain Ku Konglek Mak Alila Broga of Desmond, 47 years old. So what is Crusader Kings 3? Essentially, we want this family line here, the House Egunacht Reithlind, to survive all the way to 1445 or so, starting from 800. As you can imagine, he's not going to live forever, so we need to make sure that our family is nice and set up as we play. We can see the traits of our ruler here: arrogant, lazy, and trusting. Sounds like a good deal. You can adjust the game rules here, but I'll leave everything on default so it's easy to follow along if you want. Because we're playing on easy, we're not going to be able to get achievements. You have to play on normal if you are achievement hunting. But for the tutorial purpose, go on easy. It just helps us out a bit. And let's go ahead and play. So immediately we are put into the game mode. And this is where the game takes place. And we can see some things up at the top. We can see some things over to the right. We can see the time and date down here at the bottom. And this is your game speed. We're going to play on the slowest speed just until we get our feet under us. You can speed through this, but it's highly not recommended for beginners because things will happen and you'll get overrun before you even know it. So dropping that down to the slowest speed is the best initial course of action. As with all Paradox games, we have some drop-down menus that are deemed as important, that need to be done as quickly as possible. Then here we have 3 issues, things that we can do pretty much right away. This is recommendations from the game, saying that we can declare war right away. Pretty nice. And our leader can marry, which is also our tooltip up here. We also have our gold. We have 14 gold in our bank account as a country. We make 1.3 gold per month, and you can see that is from our domain, our one domain holding. Essentially, Desmond makes us 1.3 gold a month, and that is it. So each ruler will have different incomes. The king of West Francia, for example, will have 9.9 gold a month that he makes because he collects taxes from all of this. We're starting nice and small so we can get our feet under us here. So our tax revenue, obviously not that high. Next up we have our prestige, and we make 3.11 a month. Think of prestige is how well known your main character is, and if you wonder who it is that you're even playing, they're down here on the bottom left. You can give that a click and open up the panel. This is you, which is outstanding. You can see information about your character. You can see who you will take over when you die. Inevitably, Chieftain Ku Konglect will die, and we will take over as Concubar, our son, heir, and spy master. The game will continue on, so basically we need to make sure that our son is married and having children, because the line of succession will pass from son to son to son to son. We'll need to make sure our family stays nice and straight, but the prestige is how well our personal character is known throughout the land. And we have different levels of fame here, established and distinguished. Different levels of prestige grant you different bonuses. Obviously, more prestige is better. There are some things that we purchase with prestige that does not come out of pocket. Basically, big decisions that we can make just off the back of our reputation rather than the coin in our pocket. The next thing we see is our piety. Right now, we can see that we are insular Irish. We are not Catholic, unfortunately. Looking at the faith, we can see that the island of Ireland is mostly insular, with a Staru over here in the county. And where does that come from? From Norway and Sweden. Essentially, we have some Vikings over here who own this little plot of land. And then the rest of mainland Europe is Catholic, but you can see all of the religions by clicking on this religious map mode down here. Not important at the start, but definitely know that as we are a heresy of the Catholic religion, the Catholics are not going to like us too much. We're not true followers. So guys like the Pope down here in Rome are not going to be too awful happy with us, but we are decently pious in the insular faith. Next, we have renown. That is our family tree. As our family takes land and our family grows and our family has exploits and gains prestige, all of that funnels into our family renown. And as our family grows, we can take things that are specific to our family and everyone of this particular bloodline. So very powerful to build that up. We also have total soldiers in our levy. Levies are essential footmen. Essentially the people that, let's see, let's go to our houses here. Essentially the people that have pitchforks and torches and can be summoned at a moment's notice. Certainly not as powerful as a standing army that is trained, but we have 265 soldiers ready to go. Next up, we see our domain holdings. We have 1 out of 4. So based on our stewardship skill, this is how well we can basically run our lands. You see that we can hold a maximum of 4 holdings ourselves. So we could capture 3 more counties and hold that directly under us. If we conquer more land and we're still alive, we'll have to hand off that land to someone else so they can maintain it for us. So a high domain is very important for getting a lot of tax money. The more land you can hold directly, the more money you can make. Next up, we have the outliner. The outliner will basically give just a quick breakdown of everything that's going on at a glance. That's pretty handy. Next up, we have our realm. So we are the Earldom of Desmond. We are a tribal county, and we are size 1 because we only have 1 county. This is our tribal authority. And one thing about Paradox games is you can hover over each one of these and see what's going to happen if you enact that, what cost it may run, and what the effects will be. So if we wanted to pass limited tribal authority, it will cost us 210 of our 600 prestige. What that will do is characters can now be imprisoned, and tribal rulers with non-tribal lieges may settle, becoming feudal or clan. Essentially, we're trying to raise our way up from a tribal nation up to a feudal monarchy, much like the kingdom of Francia down there. But that is a slow burning process. We have to pass these laws in order, and as we increase our authority, you can see the opinion of our vassals goes down, but it grants us more power that we can do. We want to get this as high as possible while maintaining everyone's happiness, so it is a delicate balancing act for sure. So anything that's going on in your realm, you can find out here in the Realm tab. Next, we have our military, and we can see our levies, all 260 footmen ready to go. While they are not summoned, they don't cost us anything because they're going about their jobs. They're farming, their craftsmanship, all the things that the peasantry does. They're doing that right now, but we can summon them to fight for us at a moment's notice by raising all the armies. We also have 5 champions. These may be knights or the equivalent, depending on where you're playing in the world. They may not be called knights, but these are your elite fighters that will join your levies on the battlefield to sort of command them. Next to each one, you can see their prowess skill. Hovering over that can give you a breakdown of what that means, but essentially it is a personal combat skill. If old Dodagus was to engage in one-on-one combat, his skill would be 11. And hopefully he would be going one-on-one against someone who is less than, so Dodagus can win that duel. You can see the effect of each point of prowess. So each point gives a knight 100 damage and 10 toughness. So we're looking at 1100 damage and 110 toughness for Dodagus here. You want to maintain a high prowess skill for your champions. We have a cap of 5, so ideally we want each one of our 5 knights to have the highest prowess available. As we create men-at-arms, these are our regiments that we do pay a monthly cost for. These are standing armies that are a little bit more experienced and a little bit more dedicated to a craft. Light footmen, bowmen, light horsemen, pikemen, and armored footmen, and you can see the cost of our prestige to form that. If we click on one, we can see the full maintenance and the unused maintenance, what terrain they are good for, what their attack, toughness, pursuit, and screening is. Basically, you want these numbers high. That's the long and short of it. And you want them to fight in these terrains: forests, taigas, and jungles. If we create one of those, we can see we start with 5 soldiers. That reinforces slowly up to 100 as we slowly recruit, and we can get up to 100 extra army that is specialized as light footmen at the cost of 0.1 prestige a month. So we're making 3.1. That would be a pretty handy thing to do. So in fact, let's go ahead and create a light footman regiment, and we will give that time to reinforce up to 100. That will help us raise up a bigger army to take on these little counties next door. So that will be Rally Point Green, raise all here, and we can see that they are raised, and that would give us the monthly charge. All you have to do is click on an army, and down here we have the actions that this particular army can do. Split off a new army, essentially split them in half. If you want to break up these 100 into groups of 50 or what have you, you can do that here. You can also start raiding. That is moving into a county and taking all their gold without formally declaring war, keeping in mind that your army may get wrecked by neighboring armies as well. It's sort of a free-for-all there instead of a declared war. And you can disband them by clicking that button there, and then they will slowly recharge once they are back home. So that is your army screen. You can see that we have 270 troops as of now, and this bar will slowly fill as these men-at-arms get raised up. That is all well and good. Next up, we have our council. These are very trusted people, or at least they should be very trusted people, to do certain things for us in our realm. If we get married and have a spouse, she will appear here. We have our heir-lead, which is essentially our religious head. Our religious band of heretics are led by suffragan bishop heir-lead here. We can have them do religious relations, increasing our piety. If we had another faith in a county, we can have him convert. And if we want to fabricate a claim, if we had no real reason to go to war against either one of these counties, we can send our bishop over there to basically forge some documents and give us a reason to go to war. This game will not allow you to go to war without a reason. You need a good reason, otherwise you'll be seen as tyrannical. The world will absolutely hate you and your face will get pushed in greatly. So always make sure that you have a claim if you don't already have one. From our issues here, and it says we can declare war, it looks like we do have a good reason, so we won't need our bishop for now. We'll just have our bishop do religious relations. Next up, we have our chancellor, who is responsible for our diplomacy, basically talking to our vassals, talking to other folks, and making them like us. Every character in this game has an opinion of us, and if we hover over that, we can see on a scale of -200 to +200 how they feel. 0 is pretty well neutral. We can see that old chieftain Ken Phalid over here in this county likes it at -6. Why is that? Well, our personal diplomacy is high-ish, we get +4. But because one of us is diligent and one of us is lazy, he doesn't like our virtues. So he is diligent, we are lazy. That is a penalty. If we were to get rid of lazy, then that -10 would go away and he would actually like us at +4. Pretty cool stuff. We could also send a chancellor over to improve relations with him if we weren't planning to run him over in a few minutes. So we're not going to send our chancellor over to improve relations with our neighbors, but what we can do is do domestic affairs and keep the people in our realm happy. So we will do domestic affairs, and he will automatically go from person to person around here, saying how awesome we are. And that's pretty good. Next up, we have our steward Dotigus. His job is to either collect taxes, which applies right here into our monthly income, or if we were to increase development, that would be this. Development is basically raising your land up from a tribal nation of not very many paved roads or organized cities. The development will allow that to happen, to get us more organized. You can see that our construction time goes down. Our holding construction time goes down, and development grows, and we get two possible side effects if we do this, with efficient taxation and increased control. So it's up to us if we want money in the short term, or do we want to try to increase the development of this place in the long term. I think right now, because we're only making 1.3 gold per month and we need that gold to go to war, we'll collect taxes and hope that we get that extra taxes possible side effect. Next up, we have our marshal and champion, David, who is unmarried in Desmond. We can see that right now he's organizing levies. That increases the levy size, garrison size, and reinforcement rate. Basically, he's making more of these people possible by organizing the levies. That's good for us because the majority of our army is in fact levy. So that is pretty good. Essentially, we can also train commanders, which means our men-at-arms maintenance goes down at 20%. So once we do get those light infantrymen, we can decrease their maintenance down by 20%, and a 5% chance of improving or finding a new commander or knight each month if we were not happy with our knights, our champions over here. If we looked at these guys and said, yeah, these guys are kind of crap down here, I kind of want a new knight or a champion, as it were, he can go out and find them. But right now, I think what we need to do is keep our levies 20% higher. And lastly, our spy master. So as the name implies, our spy master is here to do the backstabbing and the underhanded actions if we wanted to plot to kill someone across the border. Our spy master would start formulating a plot. If we wanted to make sure that no one is plotting to kill us, we can station our spy master nearby to see if we can protect ourselves from any ill-gotten spiders or accidents, hunting accidents, things that might kill us unbeknownst to us. Also, we can support schemes that will increase the power if we are trying to kill someone. We can disrupt schemes, which we're currently doing, basically making sure that we are nice and safe and tucked away in our castle. No one is here to kill us. Lastly, we can find out secrets. Now, secrets are going to come into play later when we want to try to blackmail or convince one of these characters to join us. So, let's say essentially if we wanted this chieftain dead, we would look in his court to try to find someone that really didn't like him. and would want him dead. If we knew a secret about one of these people, we could convince them using that sort of blackmail to join us in our plot whether they wanted to or not. So secrets are basically, you owe me one. I know something about you, and if you don't want it to get out to the world, you better agree with me. So secrets are very, very powerful. For now, let's disrupt schemes in our lands to make sure that we stay alive, because I don't know if I want to play as Concubar just yet. And each one of these council members are governed by the trait that you see in the upper right-hand corner. We can see our bishop is a skill of 13 in the learning category here. We can see our chancellor is a skill 12 on the diplomacy trait over here. And likewise, our steward, 18 in stewardship, very, very good. Our marshal, 15 marshal, very good. And our spy master, 9. So it's average. I've seen these numbers get as high as 20 to 25. If you find someone who's 20 to 25 in one of these skills, they will be in a very effective council member. Very good to have for sure. If you see someone down here who is a skill 2 or skill 3, try looking for someone to replace them. By clicking this button, you can appoint a spy master, and then you can increase by clicking there, and that will sort them by highest to lowest. And you can see that my steward, who is actually very good at stewardship, would also be a better spy master. However, I do not want to give up that high stewardship skill, so second best is good enough for us. Another thing you want to make absolute sure is that your spy master likes you, that you have a good positive opinion. He likes us at plus 84. So that is amazing. He will not try to plot to kill us. If a liege, if a character that you're playing has a spy master that absolutely hates you, all it takes is someone across the border to convince him otherwise, and that spy master will be a very powerful ally to stab you in the back. So make sure your spy master is well taken care of, for sure. So once we get a wife, we will see what the spouse can do, but that is your council. Next up, we have the court. Your court can also be seen in this menu here under your portrait. You can see your court. We have 11 people living with us. These are folks that are of different families. These are people like our knights, our immediate family, sons and heirs. Our grandson is living with us. Our bishops are living with us. And our courtiers are living with us. So these are low-born, unlanded people that just happen to live in the realm. Now, if their stats are off the chain, we might be able to appoint them into our council directly from our court. If we see someone in someone else's court that we want to try to bring over, we can use that spy master hook to discover a secret about them and convince them with a strong pull of the arm to come on over and join us. But essentially, our court will be the people that will be plotting against us if someone wants us dead. So even if our son wants us dead, he will go to all of these people and say, hey, do you want Chieftain Ku Konglek dead? And if any one of these people have a negative opinion of us, they may join that scheme. So right now, Art Seal Mirido might plot to kill us if he was asked to. This might be someone that we want to sort of sway and talk to and convince that we are awesome. We can do that by right-clicking, and we can go personal sway, and we can try to convince him that we are awesome. That's another thing. If you want to interact personally with any one of these characters, you just give them a right-click on PC, and you can see all of the actions that you can do. Right now, you can see if we wanted to murder our child, the tooltip is handy. It says, no, he is your child. You cannot do that. But nothing stops you from putting him in charge of an army and then charging headfirst into a battle he possibly can't win. There are multiple ways to skin a cat, but we can't directly plot his murder. We can also sway. We can have him educate one of our children. We can find him a spouse or arrange his marriage, which we definitely do want to do, as we will be playing as him when we kick the bucket. So we want to be sure that our family is well taken care of. If we wanted to invite more champions, we can do that. Knights will come, and basically we can pay to bring them in. Those will be randomly generated from the pool of NPCs. We can also search for a physician. Very, very powerful when disease runs rampant. So I don't know if we can actually appoint a physician. Let's look in our court and sort by our, look for someone with good learning. And we can see if they can become our court physician. So right now, Myriad has a learning skill of 9. Let's see if we can appoint her as court physician here. Yes, we can. So under the vassalage and court, we have the more option. We can appoint as court physician. It will cost us 10 gold up front, nearly bankrupting us, but she will be happy. Her opinion will go up by 15, and we've got Myriad, the 15-year-old, as our court physician. So if we become injured or our children become injured, it will be up to Myriad to heal them. So good on you, girl. Welcome to the fold. Next up, we have the Intrigue tab. So here is where we can see hostile schemes. If we wanted to plot to kill old Chieftain Ken Phelan MacMurdoch, we just right-click on him, and we can murder scheme. When we click on the murder scheme, we see a success chance rate. So right now, we've only got a 5% chance of succeeding. This is the chance that you will stay undetected once you try to kill him, and we only have a 20% chance of staying undetected. The scheme will take about 8 years to complete. So at a quick glance, if you want someone dead, you can see exactly how easy it's going to be, and right now, it doesn't look like that is going to be too easy. If we were to start that scheme, or any scheme that is considered hostile, it will appear right here. Also, you can hover over these blue text box, and then you can hover over the blue text box and hover over the blue text box, so you can go down the rabbit hole to find out more information. Personal schemes are things that you are doing interpersonally. So if we wanted to let's say, convince a member of a court that we are awesome, we can try to sway. So, improving opinion. Right now, that is a 95% chance of success, and it'll take about 10 months. We'll go ahead and start that scheme, because it never hurts to have a champion that really, really likes us. When we go back to our Intrigue panel, we see that it is starting, and we have an estimated time of completion. That will also allow events to happen that may speed this up or slow this down. Now, this third is discovered secret schemes. If we were to send our spy master to find secrets across the border, if we discover anything about anybody, they will be listed here. So that would be awesome indeed. That will lead us to a hooks and secrets. So what a hook is that IOU. That little, I'm going to convince you to do something for me against your will. All children are born with a weak hook because we are the house head. It's basically, come on, kid, you owe me one because I'm your father. You're going to listen to reason. If you discover that someone is, say, cheating on their spouse across the way, that would be a strong hook. If they do not want that to get out, that would appear here. That character and their hook would appear here, and that number of strong hooks would update accordingly. That is secrets known to me. If you know that someone is cheating on their wife, that will appear over here. You can see all the secrets that your spy master has discovered from finding secrets. Now, on the next tab, Intrigue, hooks, and secrets. Hooks on you. If you do something ill, if you plot to kill someone and succeed, that may be your secret. Even if you get away with it scot-free and no one knows it's you, that is your secret. But if someone's spy master from across the way is so good that they come over and they search for secrets and they just happen to find yours, that would be a hook on you. And then you would be convinced to do something that you don't want to do against your will, or it would be known to the world and you would suffer the consequences. So, say if our religion hated the fact that I was an adulterer and that secret got out, everyone in this religion of insular Christianity would hate me with a bloody passion because I broke a cardinal sin in that religion. So it would be good if that secret did not get out. So it's up to you if you want to basically go with the hook or have your secret exposed. Next up, we have factions. Factions are people in your lands that don't like the way things are going, and they will demand something from you. If you raise taxes too high, if you are at war too long, if you are the wrong religion, etc., 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 you will see a faction and a faction leader and the progress of manpower they have against you. If you can hold an army that has more manpower than the faction that is plotting against you, there's a good chance they're not going to rise up. But if you're at war and you're losing manpower and that faction takes hold and all of a sudden they have more troops than you, they can press their demands and you will be essentially in a combat war that you are in, as well as a civil war that has now broken out. So very important to watch your factions and make sure that someone is not plotting against you. Next up are decisions. So these are decisions that you can make as a character. Things like inviting champions. You can commission an epic, take a vow of poverty, go on a pilgrimage, hosting a feast, calling a hunt, searching for a physician. Eventually, the major decisions are founding a holy order and adopting feudalism. If you ever want to know why you don't meet a certain requirement, you can click on it and go down here and see, okay, so Insular Christianity is organized, but I am not level fame 2 or above. The development in my earldom is not equal or greater to 10, so we would need to send our council member over here to increase development in that county if we wanted to do that decision. Next up has all tribal era innovations. Okay, we'll get to innovations here in a second. And last but not least, we have to have the law absolute tribal authority, which is here in our realm laws. That is the 4th tier up. You can see if we did that, vassals would hate us by -30. Independent tribal rulers may settle, becoming feudal. But that allows us to revoke titles, retract vassals. We can imprison characters. And they can settle and become feudal or a clan. But we have to go step by step in order to do that. So your decisions can help you plot a long-term goal, what you want to accomplish in the future. If you don't want to be Insular Christianity anymore, and you want to found your own religion, you can do that by founding a holy order. You can see we need 496 gold and 900 piety. Well, we make 0.8 a month. That's basically 1 a month. That's going to be 800 months at this current rate. And missing 496 gold, that's going to be 496 months. So it is a tall order to found a holy order, on top of the fact that we have to be a kingdom level person, not just a little county. We have to hold the kingdom, all of Ireland. Have a barony with a city or castle that is leased out as headquarters, and devotion, which is right up here, is past faithful. So we have to stay in our religion for a long, long time before we found our own holy order. But it's something that we can do on the long term. Things like holding a feast or calling a hunt just takes a little bit of gold. And, there are certain times that we can call that, like for a feast, we need to get the gold here. If you want to be notified, you can click this check mark. So we will be notified when we can go on a hunt and when we can hold a feast, because that will allow us to increase prestige. And this is also allowing us to lose stress if we weren't lazy. So these are where these character traits start coming in, and we were born with these. We cannot change these without events happening, without us actually making an effort to try to change these. We are lazy by nature, so that means we will not lose stress if we call for a hunt, but we will increase our prestige. If we hold a feast, we'll lose 35 stress, and we haven't even covered stress yet, but we'll get to that. And may also increase vassals' opinion. So if you look at our vassals, we have none. So it really wouldn't be a good idea to hold a feast unless we want to lose some stress. So we'll just keep that in mind. So those are your decisions. Down here, we can see the time, current date, January 1st, 867. The game ticks by in days, and these will refresh on the month. So when it becomes the 1st of February, we will get paid our 1.3 gold, 2.1 prestige, 0.8 piety, 0.3 renown. So each thing is done on a monthly basis in this game, so something to keep in mind if you're waiting on gold to come in. We also have the encyclopedia, the in-game menu, and more. We can find a character, find a lineage, or go to a specific capital. Very handy if you're trying to find a specific person. Down here we have our culture group of Irish. So you can see everyone who is in the Irish culture group, and the group as a whole is working towards these things. Essentially, it is a rolling tech tree, and we can see we are in the tribal era. As we unlock more of these ideas, we can move to early medieval, high medieval, and then late medieval. The culture head, who is High Chieftain Aid MacGalmeth of Mead, and we can go to his location. So he lives in Nael. He has an interest. So basically, what is he interested in? Oh, he's interested in barracks. So the barracks will gain a little bit more progress faster than all of these things. If we become the most prestigious, most awesome person in Irish culture, then we can pick what we are focusing on to level up faster. But it's not like Civilization, where we have to pick one and then that's only what we research. All of these things grow steadily. It's just, this is what we're focusing on improving the quickest. So that is all of Irish as a whole. Next up, we have our faith, the insular Christianity. So everyone who lives here on the island of Ireland, minus our Norwegian invaders, believe in insular Christianity, an organized Christian faith. These are the things that make our religion special, and each one of these, Catholic, Muwaladi, Ibadi, Ashari, Bori, Kushite, all have different views of the world. So that allows you to play completely different in style from game to game as you look at your religion. Right now we are monasticism, gaining piety, and it makes gluttonous a sin, so we don't want to become fat. We can take vows of poverty, which also increases our piety by 2, and it makes greedy a sin. So if we were greedy, that would be sinful as well. We also have pastoral isolation, always considers other Christian faiths to be righteous, regardless of doctrinal differences. So we believe the Catholics are doing the good fight, even though we don't believe exactly everything that we do, or they don't believe, we don't believe in each other's stuff, but we're both Christian, and that's good enough for us. So our sins in this particular religion are lustful, gluttonous, greedy, sadistic, and vengeful. If any one of our characters are any one of these things, it will be considered to be sinful, and we will take a piety hit. If any of our characters have these virtues, chaste, temperate, generous, compassionate, and forgiving, then we will be gaining piety. So ideally, we want to sort of teach our children to be virtuous. So each ruler that we play along the path gets this piety. Male-dominated doctrine. Opinion of female rulers -10. So if we happen to be female, all of these rulers here wouldn't like us. They would go down -10 because they believe male is the way to go. As you can see, male-only law and male preference succession. Claims of women can only be pressed against other women, children, or incapable rulers. So if our daughter had a very strong claim against a male, she could not press it until, say, that male died and a child took over. Then she could press it, but a female cannot press a rightful claim against an adult male in this religion. Women do not get claims on their parents' titles either, so our daughter will not get a right to this land at all. Only men can be commanders and champions. We can't have an awesome female marshal leading our troops. No Joan of Arcs here. Only men and vassals can be appointed as chancellors, stewards, and marshals. So when we go over here to our council, if we had an 18 learned female, we still couldn't appoint her. because of our religion. We are also pluralists, so our conversion speed goes down, but counties with other faiths are less likely to join factions. We're sort of welcoming. Reduce danger from heresies when at a low fervor, and winning a holy war will vassalize infidel rulers in the target area instead of seizing their land. So we will not gain land in a holy war, but they will become our vassals. They will hold the land, they'll just answer to us. We are theocratic. Temple holdings are leased out to their holder's realm priest, who serves them as a theocratic vassal. That is our bishop right here. Ecumenism. Other Christian faiths have the ecumenism doctrine, are considered astray instead of hostile. So we get along okay with other ecumenists. We believe in polygamy though, so we can have, if depending on our gender law, we can have up to 4 spouses. We can have 4 wives. Having too few spouses will incur a piety penalty, so we're actually encouraged to take more than one wife. However, divorce must be approved by our head of faith, but right now we have no head of faith. That might be a little bit awkward. We can legitimize bastards. If we have a son or daughter out of wedlock, they can be legitimized and those claims can be inherited. And our consanguinity, marriage between cousins, aunts, nephews, and nieces are allowed. We can marry our cousin. Sexual relations between cousins, nephews, and uncles and nieces will not give an incest secret because it is perfectly fine. We can sleep with our cousin, no worries. Next up, same-sex religions are shunned. Deviancy are criminals, if anyone is deviant. Male adultery is shunned, so we can have 4 wives, but don't sleep around with anyone else. Female adultery is criminal. Any female that sleeps with someone out of wedlock, automatic going to jail. Kinslaying, dynastic, is criminal. So we can't kill anyone in our family, our mother, father, brother, that sort of thing. Everything else is fine. Witchcraft is a criminal offense. Don't be practicing witchcraft. Alms and pacification, we lose some domain taxes, but the popular opinion goes up for the clergy. Only men can serve in our clergy, as we learned earlier before. Clerical marriage is allowed, so our priest, bishop can get married. And clerical appointment is a spiritual head for life. So there are no elections to get in a new bishop. It is for life. And we have the teachings of Jesus, spiritual doctrine, a mutual 30 opinion bonus with faiths that have the Christian syncretism tenet. So that is our religion, and like I said, each religion is different. Each religion believes in certain things. In one religion, adultery may be perfectly fine, witchcraft may be encouraged. But for us, those are sort of the rules that we are playing by as we go on. Lastly, we have our house. This is who we want to essentially produce enough members to last until 1455. That's the ultimate goal of this game. What we do in between now and then, just keep the family alive. Right now we are insignificant, but children are born with 200 prestige, or 200 prestige. We can see also that marrying into this dynasty grants 100 prestige. Rulers get a maximum of a plus 15 long reign opinion. We can open our dynasty tree and see our entire family tree, and there is a lot of death before us. We only have essentially our chancellor is a distant fork from higher, and we have a son and a grandson. That is it. We need to get some wives, and we need to get more children going ASAP for sure. So essentially, that is the breakdown of the menu. Before we unpause, very important to take care of these things. So we have a lifestyle. When we click on lifestyle, we can see the 5 different categories of our points. Diplomacy, martial, stewardship, intrigue, and learning. Right now, because of our diplomacy education, we gain 30% more experience in the diplomacy lifestyle because we are a 10, 1, 7, 4, 8. This is our best trait by far. Let's click that. That opens up 3 different branches that we can see, and as our character, behind the scenes, we've already filled out the August branch. So we get the trait August, plus 2 diplomacy, plus 1 martial, and we gain plus 1 prestige per month for the rest of our lives. Pretty good stuff. Let's pick a focus. We can increase our diplomacy by 3 more and gain 32 experience a month. Here is our experience bar here. We can do diplomacy +1 and gain more prestige, 1 a month. Or we can focus on family and gain 2 prestige and gain 20% fertility. And I think we need more children. The family should definitely be our focus for now. Let's take that focus, and we're not able to change until 5 years from now. So for the next 5 years, we need to get on the good foot and do the bad thing. Once we have 1,000 experience points accumulated, 32 a month, we will be able to go down these branches. Now, there will be events that happen that gain you experience. So if we can do diplomatic things, we have a chance to increase our experience points by a good chunk at once, rather than wait for this 32 experience points a month. So that is that alert taken care of. Our heir is unmarried. We need to get him a wife, but first, we need to get married. We don't want to give our son the best pick, do we? So one thing that we can look at here is our wife's skills. Our wife's skills can be given to us by 1/3. So if we see someone with a really high diplomacy skill, we can also get 1/3 of that diplomacy skill in addition to what we already have. Pretty powerful. If we were lacking in any skill that we wanted to boost, say if we wanted to hold on to more troops or we wanted to get more taxes, let's sort by who has the most stewardship skill here. And right here we have a French girl who is Catholic. Might not get along too awful well. So we can see that she is sadistic, she is ambitious, and she is diligent. Don't know. She's 18 years old. Her health is fine. She's feeling okay. Do we want to risk bringing in a foreigner who is Catholic and French for this 20 bonus? We also have a Catholic Franconian who is wrathful, lazy, and temperate. Not that good for us. What we want to look out for are these icons right here. We can see that this particular lady, Adele, is a club foot. -2 personal combat skill and -10 attraction. People don't see her as attractive, and it is congenital. So any kids that she has a chance of becoming club foot. We definitely do not want that. We want to try to find genius. We want to try, okay, comely's okay, +1 diplomacy, +10 fertility, and if we were trying to have kids, old Beerflade might be a good choice. She's arrogant, okay. She's lustful, hey, even more fertility, and she's temperate, nice stewardship boost. She's got a decent stewardship skill as well. I think we can roll with that. So if we marry her, Chieftain Kukonglet gets 0 prestige because we're marrying into a low-born family. But she herself personally will get 400 prestige because we have land. So she's moving up from a low-born, unlanded character to essentially not a queen, but a countess. Very, very cool. What we do not want to do is click matrilineal marriage. That means that her family will grow instead of mine. So we want the children to be of House Uganat Wraithland. We want the kids to be named after us. So we do not want matrilineal marriage. If we have a daughter, we can try to do a matrilineal marriage to keep it in the family, but big rulers across the way will not want to marry our daughter if we are taking the family name from them. So a daughter that's staying home and working around the house and doing all that stuff can use matrilineal marriage and give us more kids in our dynasty. If we want an alliance with someone across the sea, we may have to give up that matrilineal marriage tick for our daughter to marry into a kingdom to gain an alliance. We don't have to worry about that here, as we want the kids to be ours, and we don't need to use a hook because she will accept, and we can see the breakdown of why she will accept. Conversely, if she did not want to accept, we can hover over this and see why. So marrying up, +60. She's becoming landed. Her opinion of me is +2, and our level of splendor is +5. We're a different faith, which brings that down a bit, and she doesn't want to get married that well. minus 15, but the fact that she is becoming landed or living with someone who is landed is more than enough. We're going to send that proposal. So that will take care of that. And we also have an unmarried child. So let's click on our child here. We can click on the spouse finder and let's try to find him someone. Now this is going to be the future lady of the house. When we kick the bucket, our wife, who will be on her way shortly, will be essentially a courtier once more. And the skills we will be concerned with will be our son's wife's skill. So let's try to find a congenial trait. Ugly. Nope, we don't want ugly. And if you're wondering if the character picture, portrait, reflects these changes, yes, they do. If someone has pox or someone is possessed, their character portrait may reflect that. So Kraka here, who is possessed, would maybe get the 1,000-yard stare. Hale. So she's a good fighter, but we can't recruit her into our army. It's sort of a waste. This is if we want our kids, our future grandchildren, to be commanders. So we have a comely, diplomat, and fertile, club-footed lady. Okay. Comely, fertility, and diplomacy. Isabeau, who is French. All right, let's actually use this sort power by saying the, let's see, what can we do? Prestige gain? Yeah, some of these are kids because they come from big houses with potential alliances. It would be nice if we could marry into someone nearby who has an alliance. Let's check the house and see if he has any available children. Okay, he doesn't have a daughter. And this is where the long game goes. You can get as fine-tooth comb as you can possibly want to, trying to get the perfect marriage set up. But for now, we're in the early stages. Let's just marry off our child to someone with a good trait. Ah, here we go. So we have Leo de Gundis, a 26-year-old lowborn who is beautiful. This is congenital. The kids may be beautiful, good diplomacy, good fertility. She is vengeful. She is cynical. She is arrogant, but she's got some great genetics. She's also a 19 on the Intrigue, so this may come and bite us in the rear end if we make an enemy of her and she starts to get vengeful and cynical. She may plot to kill us, but is it worth it to have awesome kids? Let's do it. So that is those taken care of. So then we just have 3 issues to look at. We can marry and declare a war, and we can declare multiple wars over certain pieces of land. So let's see if we have something on Thoman. Yes, we do. So we can declare war on our neighbor. A casus belli to use against the chieftain. This is why are we going to war. If we invade the kingdom, you may only attempt 1 invasion war against a kingdom tier title per lifetime. It's going to cost 2,000 prestige to do. We don't have it. We can't subjugate either. Oh yeah, we can. We have just enough. Yeah, that's going to be rough. But we can conquer the county. We gain the contested title. We will become a double count. We will become the Count of Desmond and the Count of Thoman. Our holdings will go up to 2 out of 4. We will gain taxes from that realm once it becomes under our power. We can see a breakdown, 283 troops. So it says that it will be a similar cost. Before we pull the trigger, how much money do they have? 13 gold. Because you can indeed hire mercenaries in this game. If we look at the mercs, we can see who is nearby. Can he afford any of them? No. Looks like he's not going to be able to go into debt and bring down anything on top of our head. If we look at any vassals, okay, that's fine. We look at the court to make sure that they have no alliances. We don't want him calling anyone else into war. We also gauge our military because remember, we were waiting on these 100 men to form up, to join, which will give us a really big advantage. If he does not hire any more men-at-arms, we'll have a 100 troop advantage. We'll have some decent champions and we can move on in. So I think that's where we will leave this initial episode. So A lot of stuff to go through, but luckily we only have to do it once. From here on out, we will be playing and explaining things as they happen. I hope that is informative. For those of you who have played Crusader Kings 2, it's all old hat. But for those of you who are new, please subscribe, please like. If this helped you out in any way, let me know. And stay tuned, because very soon I will have the second part up, because this initial stage of the game is really slow, and then once we get steamrolling, we can space out the episodes a little bit. But that will do it for me. Like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video of Crusader Kings 3. Take care.